Alright guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and with this INT BROLY being featured on the Bardock banner currently on Global, I wanted to get a showcase on this guy because definitely he is still pretty good. He does stack, so I mean, typically stacking units, even if they've aged a bit, can still get pretty crazy depending on how long the event is, but this guy does also have some damage reduction built in, and he's on some pretty solid teams as well, so overall I would say the meta has kind of been in this guy's favor. But, you know, he's been out for like 2 years at this point, so definitely, you know, power creeps hit him. It's been noticeable. And, you know, especially if you're taking him in these events where you can't really stack up with him, definitely he's going to look pretty unimpressive. But as I said, he's got additionals built in, so with good RNG, this guy definitely can get up there pretty quickly. So, yeah, but before we get into the showcase, if you find yourself enjoying the video at any point, then feel free to like and subscribe. And also keep in mind there's timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip around to any point, then absolutely feel free to do that. But, yeah, alright, let's just get right into it. So on this rotation right here, we are going to have 5 out of 7 links. Now, I think Berserker, you have to be, like, you have to be under a HP threshold. So actually, we probably won't get this in the video that often. Yeah, you have to be, I think, below 50% HP. So that definitely isn't the greatest link. But anyway, we are still going to have 5 out of 7 links, and we have support from the Turles. So overall, a pretty good rotation. And start of turn, we are at 171k defense. So that is it's pretty bad. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That definitely does suck, but there are a couple things to keep in mind. As I said, he is stacking, and he can do a ton of additionals right here, so if we get multiple supers, our defense can look pretty good. We hit right there over a little bit of, a little over a 3 million attack stat, which is alright, and we got the additional right there as well. So our defense right here is like 250k-ish, which still isn't that good, but I guess you do have to consider we have 36% damage reduction, which this guy gets 18% damage reduction for free, which definitely is pretty good because if you're stacking with him, you can get up to some pretty crazy numbers relatively quickly with good RNG. I guess you have to have really good RNG. Okay, well, I was going to play this, but whatever, I'm already speaking. But, yeah, the 18% damage reduction with the stacking definitely is a good combination. But then if you're facing a pure or hybrid sands enemy, you get the 30% damage reduction, which is even crazier, so with the full damage reduction activated, this guy actually is going to start to look pretty impressive if you start to take the damage reduction into account. But, I mean, I don't know. Most of the enemies aren't, or most of the difficult events, the enemies aren't pure or hybrid sands. I mean, of course, there is Red Zone BROLY and a couple of the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone stages. But other than that, it's just completely like, you know, we got the Wicked Bloodline one. We got, like, the GT bosses, which there's no pure or hybrid sands enemies in there, so overall, I don't think that ability is that useful right now, but if we're going to start getting some super class red zone stages, maybe one where this guy has type advantage in, I feel like he actually would be pretty useful. But for the first couple turns, or first couple rotations, I guess, with him, you are going to have to baby him. You're going to have to make sure he's not receiving that many attacks, just because start of turn, his defense just is not really there. It definitely is a little bit lower. But I think we triple supered on that first turn, so we'll see what his defensive stat is right here. And we can see how much it increased, because we definitely got lucky with our RNG, or with our additionals there. So, okay, right here we have, again, 5 out of 7 links. And our defense is at 239k. Alright, so we did also lose our defensive support from the AGL Turles, so you do have to keep that in mind. But yeah, let's see how well he's performing right here. Hopefully we can get a solid amount of additionals. I mean, I'm not the luckiest guy in terms of additionals, but still, like, an additional through would be nice because we are facing a Pure Sands enemy, obviously, with the Vegeta, so we do actually have another additional we could get. I have to double check on what the chances for that, but okay, a little over 3 million. So yeah, we launch an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super. Okay, so basically, okay, so we launch an additional that has a medium chance of becoming a super just for free. And then we get another additional that has a medium chance of becoming a super if we're facing a pure or hybrid sands enemy. And then depending on how you build him, you could quadruple super, which I do suggest you go full additionals with this guy. I don't know. I guess you could make the full dodge case. I mean, look, I've been saying this with a couple of units now, but I mean, full dodge on this guy could definitely work. He is a more defensive orientated unit. I mean, with additionals and crits, this guy definitely could do a lot of damage, but I think for the most part, you're using him for his defensive capabilities because, or, okay, I'll say this. his defensive capabilities outshine his offensive capabilities. Because between the stacking and then the damage reduction, that definitely is a lot better than a couple of 3 million attack stats and like 2 of them crit. But I don't know. I mean, with good RNG, of course, or with good or bad RNG, that could change. Because I mean, if I got like 1 super on that first rotation right there, we would have been at like 200k defense. And even 200k defense with 36% damage reduction is pretty bad. And even on that turn, we weren't even at like 300k. So definitely, I mean, as I said, the first couple rotations, it's not going to be anything too crazy with him. But once you start getting those supers off, he really does start to look impressive. So we got this, which actually I haven't seen this in a minute. But I also like never use this tech Broly. He's not really all that good anymore. But definitely an easy A could be up and coming for him. But okay, so right here we are going to have 239k start of turn defense. Yeah, so not really that good. But let's go ahead and play this. Let me make sure I have these skip off, which I do. So yeah, let's go and play his active skill. Okay, so we get a very big attack buff right here. I think we get like 60... Is it 60%? Yeah, okay, so we get 6 keys, 60% attack, and then attacks effective against all types for 1 turn. So our offense right here actually is going to be very good. Because all of these attacks are super effective against all types. We can crit, and we have an additional 60% attack. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of damage. And we did have some offensive support from the Broly in slot 3 as well. So yeah, let's see what attacks that we can get to right here. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty crazy, especially if we start doing multiple of them. But okay, we're getting supered. This guy doesn't lower defense, does he? No, he doesn't. Okay. So a 6 million attack stat. That's pretty good because it's super effective against all types. We have the 18% chance to crit. Actually, I think we also have a 36% chance to crit, not 18%. So definitely pretty impressive. I mean, once you start, facing the pure and hybrid sans enemy, you got the crits, the damage reduction, and then you got all the additionals as well. And then on a turn like this where you pop his active skill, you get the extra 60% attack, and you're super effective against all types. I mean, his damage can look pretty impressive, but I guess it really is only on the right turns with this guy is when he's going to look good. So, but yeah, and his active skill is extremely easy to get. You need to do 4 supers, which, again, with all the additionals this guy has built in, that's really not going to be all that difficult. So actually, you know what? What we'll do is we'll just cut right now to the end of this fight when we have him stacked up a lot more and see what he's looking like at, like, I don't know, turn like 12, 13, 14, and see how high in terms of our stats we can get to there. And then we'll probably take him versus Cell Max. We'll do the unit breakdown and then we'll call it a video. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut to the end of this fight. All right, so we are here on turn 11 in a different Legendary Vegeta event fight because Cooler just destroyed the final phase. But anyway, yeah, right here we are going to have 3 out of 7 links and we are at 400k defense. So not really the craziest for being on turn 11. But I mean, we got the 36% damage reduction. And of course we do still have, we've got the crits. We've got all that built in as well. So, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff going on right here. But I'm not that impressed with his defensive stat. But anyway, yeah, I mean, easily double digits. I think we probably would be able to live a super. Okay, well, we're taking one. It's not, this is not double digits, but we might live. Okay, okay. Yeah, we did just barely live that. All right. What's our attack stat? 3.2 million. Yeah, so not really the craziest. I missed that one node there. Yeah, I think defensively, for being on turn 11 and only being at 400k defense, yeah, that is kind of unimpressive, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we didn't necessarily get the luckiest with additionals in this run, but still, I don't know. I feel like turn 11 being only at 400k defense isn't really the craziest because, unfortunately, this guy does stack attack and defense, which means he only gets a 20% permanent buff to his attack and defense. Unlike units that only stack attack or only stack defense, that means that they stack it by 30%. So it's a little weird how Dokkan does it like that, but that's just how it is. So yeah, overall, not really the craziest rotation. As you can see, we survived with, 23,000 health left. So we very well could have died right there if this was an actual difficult event. But I mean, we'll see. I'm thinking we're going to take double digits from Cell Max's normals. but I don't think we'd be able to live a super from Cell Max, just because in there we also wouldn't have the full damage reduction activated. So it's just, the only real thing he has is that type advantage, and I really don't think that's really that much to fall back on, because Cell Max does hit very hard. So, alright, with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to the Cell Max event. Alright, so we're here fighting Cell Max, and we're on turn 7, so we've managed to get a couple of stacks with him. We are only at 228k defense, so, you know, not the highest number. But I definitely think with the damage reduction, we're not going to, like, instantly die. I think if we get supered, we are probably dead right here, just because 228k is just not good enough. So yeah, let's see how much damage he's taken. Again, with normals, I think we're fine. Okay, 59k. Alright, so considering we're on turn 7, that's not really that bad. I think after we super, that is double digits from normals, so definitely pretty good with that. But yeah, I mean, it's just this fight, because obviously there's no pure or hybrid sands enemy. You don't get the full damage reduction, and then you don't get the additionals as well, which right there, yeah, we didn't get any additionals. So we're still taking 48k after we supered. But if we were to, like, triple super right there, which I think we still could have done, then definitely I think we actually probably would have survived there. So, I mean, yeah, overall, just as you can see, not really the craziest. It's just because this guy doesn't really get up there quick enough. I mean, in terms of his damage, it can definitely be pretty good if you get a bunch of additionals and crits. But, you know, in shorter events, I'm just really not seeing it. And unfortunately, that is pretty much everything, and every difficult event in the game right now is short. But in long events, I mean, he definitely has his uses. As we saw in the previous rotation, he was like 400k defense plus with 36% damage reduction. So definitely in the right situations, in the right fights, can look very good. But, you know, in actual difficult content, not really too impressive. So with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, here we have Indistinctive Destruction, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Planetary Destruction or Movie Bosses, category Ki +3, HP plus 130%, and then attack and defense plus 170%. Now, I'm pretty sure this guy is the best Planetary Destruction lead as it stands, so I guess there is that, but 130% to HP definitely is a little bit of a bummer, because, you know, HP is very crucial, and, you know, only giving 130%, it's going to be noticeable in, like, the low levels of HP you're going to have on your team if you're running this guy as the lead. But his super attack effect is that he raises attack and defense infinitely and then causes immense damage to enemy. His passive is that he gets 3 ki, 180% attack and defense. He reduces damage received by 18%, and then chance of performing a critical hit plus 18%. And then he also launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super. He gets Ki +3, and then launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, and then reduces damage received by 18%, and chance of performing a critical hit plus 18%, within the same turn after performing a super attack, when there is a Pure Sands or Hybrid Sands category enemy. So definitely pretty good. I mean, as I was saying earlier in the video, you know, Pure Sands and Hybrid Sands enemies just are not really that easy to come across in the game. I mean, you know, Red Zone Broly definitely is one fight that stands out to me, but other than that, there's not really that many difficult content fights that have a Pure Sands or Hybrid Sands category enemy. But this is still pretty useful for, like, a lot of the legendary events, because actually all 3 of them are a Pure Sands enemy. So you will be able to make some use out of this part of his passive in there, especially with the stacking. Actually, the legendary events is probably a very good fight for this guy. But yeah, just in difficult content, not really the best option. But maybe if you have type advantage, you could definitely find a way around it. I mean, I know in Cell Max he was taking like 50k per normal, but if you get lucky with him with additionals and you float him off, you definitely could win Cell Max with this guy on the team. And if you get lucky with crits, this guy would be a good addition to the team, especially with the active skill, which, speaking of, the condition is that you need to perform 4 super attacks. Very easy to get. And then the effect is that you get 6 ki, so basically just a guaranteed super, attack plus 60%, and then attacks effective against all types for 1 turn. So definitely very good there, just to ensure you do more damage. Yeah, I mean, you know, the attack is a pretty big attack buff. I guess the only thing is he doesn't get any defense here, which would have been nice if he got a little bit of defense for 1 turn, just to make him pretty good. You know, you throw him in slot 1, but, I mean, it is what it is. And then this guy's links are Sand Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, the Sand Lineage, Berserker, Prepare for Battle, Hardened Grudge, and Fierce Battle. So an amazing link set, except for Berserker and Hardened Grudge. Those 2 links kind of ruin it for me, but other than that, he has a very good link set. And then his categories is Planetary Destruction, Diabolical Villains, Movie Bosses, Pure Sands, Full Power, Target Goku, Exploding Rage, Legendary Existence, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. What is Diabolical Villains? What is this? Is this Terrifying Conquerors? No, wait, no. Broly's not on Terrifying Conquerors. What is the? What is this category? How? Oh, Inhuman Deeds. Yeah. Okay. I forgot what that was for a second. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, that has been the video. I mean, let me know what you guys think of this Broly down in the comments. Let me know if you summoned for Bardock, and if you did manage to pull this guy on Bardock's banner. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.